Very simply put, goals do not happen unless you put in the work. And in order to put in the work, you have to make the time for it. So in today's video, I'm going to share how to create a winning schedule based on your goals. Christina, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button right now. I will be posting videos every single week this year to help you create your best year yet. So if you haven't done so already, I suggest that first you get clear on what your goals are, what your priorities are, and what your values are. And if you do not know where to begin, absolutely no worries. I have a video, actually the video I posted right before this one. So it is a clarity exercise that is going to help you discover and accomplish your goals. You need to do that first, so then you can go on to the next step, which is breaking down that goal into daily habits, weekly task, daily task as well, right? So you want to get very focused. Really important to break it down. I keep on saying it over again, but you need to have habits, because if you don't have habits and systems, it's not going to happen. So make sure clarity exercise first, get clear on what's important, and then break it down into those weekly tasks, weekly habits. Those weekly tasks and habits are naturally going to become your to-do list. So now the next step, which is I can't even express how important this one is, and it took myself a very long time to learn it, and that is establishing boundaries. Once you have your goals, you want to get very clear on prioritizing those, but also creating boundaries around your time. So that's where I am asking you to default to no. And as a former people pleaser myself, or recovering people pleaser, I know this can be very difficult because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, you don't want to let people down, you want to make sure that you're always available to help, and you can still do that, but you can do that within your own healthy boundaries. By creating these boundaries, you're going to create structure around your day, and you're going to again reinforce the fact that what you need to do, what you want to do in order to reach your goals is going to get done, because you're not going to have distractions. And when the distractions come up, or when people ask of your time, which is an incredible asset and resource, right? Your time, limited resource at that, then you have to really think, like, is this in line with what I'm trying to do? Is this in line with my goals? Is it going to help me achieve my goals? And if the answer is no, you say no, or you delegate. Now the next step is using a time block schedule. Now I do have a video on this one that I've already created. As most of you guys know, I follow a block schedule. This is something that I adopted after I became a working mom, and it was a struggle, right? It was a struggle to create a schedule and stick to it, especially while I was, as a new mom, learning my way, right? Learning my way around caring for an infant, traveling for work, breastfeeding, pumping, doing that whole thing. And also then that eventually changing into working from home with a toddler. So I have tons of content around this in terms of creating that block schedule, so definitely check that out, as I'm not going to get into it on this video. But I want you to create a block schedule because this is going to allow you the most flexibility with your time, right? A block schedule is a series of blocks throughout the day, no more than 2 to 4 hours. I tend to keep mine around 3 hours max. And I like it because each block, I know what I'm supposed to do, and then I can move on to the next task and the next block accordingly. And when schedule changes happen, because they will, I can easily move my blocks around. So follow a block schedule, I highly recommend. So if that's something of interest to you, definitely check out those videos. As I said, I will link them in the description as well. So once you have your blocks, you want to then focus. You want to focus those blocks, and you focus those blocks by batching your task. So hear me out here. I am not a multitasker. I am a proud person to say I am not a multitasker. I know it drives my husband a little crazy because I can listen and do something at the same time. I have to focus. And again, maybe mom life has made that worse for me, my inability to do more than one thing at the same time. So instead, I batch my activities within the block. So an example of this, I already mentioned, my work day starts with the critical task. I'm on Do Not Disturb, Microsoft Teams status, Do Not Disturb, and I am focusing on that critical task only. I'm not looking at emails, I'm not answering messages, I'm not scrolling on Instagram. I am solely focused on the critical task. After that, I go on to my meeting block. My meeting block, depending on the day, can be between 2 to 3 hours. And during this period, I'm only on meetings. And I have them every day, so that's why there's a whole block for meetings. So whether this is internal meetings, whether this is client meetings, that time is only for meetings. Again, I am not doing anything else. Solely focus on the meeting of the day. If I do not, let's say perchance, I do not have any other meetings within that 2 to 3 hour block, I still focus on creating agendas for the next day's meeting. So it's still a very focused time where it's meetings. But the key here is that I'm batching like activity within the time block. And this is forcing me to focus. It's forcing me to be efficient. And I don't allow for any other distractions. There's a time and place for everything. I focus on that and I move on to the next. So within that, as I said, it's a very like get it done mentality, get it done schedule. I reward myself. And this is something that I also had to learn how to do and continue to do. Historically, I haven't been one to celebrate things. I'm, a highly accomplished person. I keep on going on to the next thing. And over the past year, I've definitely focused on creating more opportunities on a daily basis to celebrate the small wins, right? To reward myself throughout the day, to give myself adequate breaks throughout the day, because that helps with my self-care, right? If I am not feeling good throughout the day, I will burn out. I will become highly resentful, which is not good for anybody. So let's not do that, right? So it's just not a good look for me. So I've learned, and now I reward myself throughout the day. And obviously they're not big rewards because I'm doing it throughout the day. So an example of this is in the morning. I started working out in the morning end of last year, and early morning, which I'm shocked myself, but I do it. But I wake up at 4:30, right? I head over to this class that I take at the gym. I am back home by 6:15. I have my shake, and then I have my coffee. And my coffee, it's delicious, and it's a treat. And I treat it as such. It's my reward for getting up at 4:30 in the morning, going to the gym, and coming back home, right? So it is a time that I cherish now because it's so early in the morning. I can actually enjoy the cup of coffee. So again, it feels like a treat. So I drink my coffee. I use this time to just relax. I mean, even like over the Christmas holiday, I was lighting up my tree and I'm like drinking my coffee in the front of the tree. I'm like, who am I? But it was something that was so, it really felt like a treat. So I highly recommend even those small moments, enjoying them. Another example of a reward is breaks, right? So like taking these micro breaks throughout the day. It's another way to, I feel, keep your mind clear, right? Giving yourself those adequate breaks to just take a moment, So another example of that is lunchtime. I make it a point, right now I'm in my home office, which is upstairs in my house, but I make it a point when it's lunchtime, I walk downstairs, I prepare myself a lunch. Sometimes it's leftovers, but it works, right? It's my lunch. So I sit there and I enjoy my lunch. I am not looking at my computer because my computer's upstairs in the office. I am not looking at my work phone to see who's calling me, texting me, what emails are coming through. I am solely focused on enjoying my meal, eating my lunch, and taking a necessary micro break throughout the day. So this is something I do every single day. It ensures that I eat, right? I take a moment to eat, but I also take a break. And after I eat, if I have a few minutes, I'll watch a YouTube video or I'll scroll on Instagram. It's just something just to break up the day. Give yourself permission to take the breaks, because I assure you, if you take those breaks throughout the day, you're going to have mental clarity, you're going to be able to be more focused on your work, and you're also going just to feel better about the day. Taking the breaks assures that you don't get burnt out and you do not become resentful of not having enough time for yourself. So take the breaks, and I assure you, you are going to see and feel a difference in your schedule and in your productivity. Okay, so the last thing in terms of your schedule is that you want to create an end of day ritual. As someone who is highly mentally charged, when I'm working, I'm in it, right? And I can't stop thinking about it. I'm just really focused on it and I wanna get it done, and I'm just thinking about it all the time. And same thing if I'm working on a very exciting project, that excitement also propels my energy and I have a hard time shutting it down. So I've learned over the past few months to start an end of day ritual. And this ritual doesn't take very long, but it helps me mentally close for the day and prepare for the next day. So first, after I said I finished that admin hour and that catch-up hour, I look to see what got done, for the day, and I reassess the next day what needs to get done, if anything needs to move over to the next day, or if there's been any schedule changes on the next day. I look that over just to make sure I know exactly where to start the next day. I then close my door to my office, I walk downstairs, and I get ready to walk my dog. I work from home, so it's even that much harder to create like these boundaries and structure around work and life. So I have to have an intentional physical activity that marks the end of my day. And then by the time I get back from my walk, whether that's a 5-minute, 10-minute, 20-minute walk, whatever the day brings, when I get back into my house, I'm cleared. Right? I am now in a better position where I can enjoy playing with Gianna. I can enjoy preparing dinner or sitting down with my family to eat dinner. So it's something that I highly recommend. As I said, it's given me grace, right? It's giving me a good pause. It's a great way just to end the day and then be able to enjoy the rest of the evening with my family. So those are my tips in terms of creating the winning schedule. One thing I also want to call out is that I want you to try it, right? I want you to try it. I want to hear from you and see if it's working for you. But I also want to make sure that throughout your trial, right? Throughout your trial, that you are taking time to reflect and adjust as needed. As I already said, and I keep on saying time and time again, I'm pretty sure every single one of my videos says this, life is going to happen. So you're going to have to be able to adjust and be flexible along the way. I actually, every Fridays tend to be my lighter day in terms of meetings. So I do spend a lot of time on Friday preparing for the following week, looking at that schedule. And that could be something that works for you too. On Fridays, start thinking about the following week, right? So number one, you don't have the Sunday scaries. You know exactly where you're supposed to be on Monday, but it also just gives you the opportunity to say like, okay, what worked this week? Like what worked, what didn't work, what can I improve on next week? Am I on target with my goals? It's a great way just to check in on a weekly basis so that you are not, so you don't lose sight, right? So you don't lose sight of what you're working up towards, and that you can also see that those week over week progressions and be motivated and excited by that. So another little tip there, a little bonus tip there, definitely take the time to reflect and adjust as needed. So that wraps up today's video. In order to help you reach your goals and create your own winning schedule, I am actually going to share a free download in the bio, and this will give you an opportunity to see a winning template, a winning schedule template, and create one of your own. So it's a time blocking template, highly recommend, check it out in the bio. And don't forget to subscribe.